Morning, this is Alan from BajaOverlanding, and we are making another attempt to drive all the way into the Santa Maria Mission. This time we're joined by Expedition X Off-Road. They're going to be trying out a couple of their new Broncos, so we will see how well they do as well as how well we do. It should be an interesting trip, and we're looking forward to it. As you can see, when you start the mission trail, you head on down a wash that is 3 or 4 miles long, and it's fairly easy driving. The sand is hard packed. We can hop along at a pretty good speed and work our way around a few obstacles, and it's just a nice pace. So this is the start of the trip. It's pretty easy, and then we get on the main trail. Let's see how we go. Once you leave the sandy wash section, you get on the main trail, which becomes a little more rockier. There are some good smooth sections you can get a little bit of speed on, but generally you're just crawling along, and you work your way up to the Baja Divide. The trail is very scenic. There's some amazing cactus on the way, and you just enjoy the drive till you get up to the divide. After you reach the Baja Divide, there's a fairly steep downhill section, and you can't see it in the video, but the right-hand side of the track is about 3 foot taller or higher than the left-hand side. So it's very off camber, very interesting drive, a little bit of a panic, but you can do it. And as you come down the hill, it gets a bit better. The downhill section is where we start running into the rocks. There's a little section from the top that's a bit rocky. It levels out again for a mile or so. And then we're going to come back into the steps. There's multiple downhill rocky sections that drop you down to the bottom of the hill. So we'll just keep on going. This is where we hit the first rocky downhill step. It's a rock slope. It leans off to the left and it's reasonably steep going down. We just stayed hard right, and up on the rock there you can just see I'm driving over it. It really wasn't that bad and off camber. A little scary when we first looked at it. Off to the left there's a hole, so probably not the best way to drive and put a wheel into that. But you drive off it and we're back on the trail, and over the next 3 to 4 miles we're going to start hitting more steeper downhills till we finally get to Widowmaker. Unfortunately, a lot of the hills I was directing some of the other guys down, spotting for them, and didn't get great video. Here's the first really bad hill, and I made the mistake of staying a little bit to the right, and I dropped into a hole and hit my rock slider on that rock on the right side, but just scraped it. It wasn't bad. We kept the rest of the vehicles to the passenger side, and they all did really well. None of the hills are really difficult, so it's pretty easy transition. Get him over to the driver a bit more, Matt. Yeah, you want to be driver, use that word. More driver. Driver. Turn it back. You good. Keep him hard driver all the way to that edge.
Yeah, aim towards that big rock that over there. Yeah, aim towards that before you start going right. Hey, puppy! You got tons of space over here, Jay. You got feet of room. You're good.
Yeah, straighten her up.
Yeah, straighten her up and you're good. Walk down.
Yeah, the right line makes all the difference. You're clear. Need to go there.
Right. It's part of the shop.
Wheel on this rock. Go right. Pass. Yeah. Yep. Somebody want to spot him on that. Make sure he's on that tire. On the rock.
Okay. Once we get down past Widowmaker and the other bad drop-off hills, you hit the wash at the bottom. It wasn't too bad with water today, so we had a good time. Some of the people who come through here complained about it being several feet deep in water. It is overgrown, and we had to move a few bushes and trees to get us through. The Broncos actually bought chainsaws, and they widened the trail right out because they didn't want to scratch their new Broncos. Having two older Jeeps, we weren't quite as concerned. The palm fans are fairly soft, so they didn't do much damage at all. But it's probably a quarter of a mile through this, and you come out to a bit more trail, and then you finally get to the mission. So the drive was, as I said, fairly simple. 2, maybe 3 bad downhills that were absolutely nothing if you just took your time. And if you're really concerned about anything, it's scratching your car coming through this little forest. So again, it's very beautiful in here. The palms are amazing, and the cactuses on the way down were just amazing. We really enjoyed seeing them. So we were looking forward to seeing the mission at this point, but ended up being a little disappointed. So we'll just continue on. There is a little rocky climb as you come out of the wash, and then it levels out most of the way to the mission. Well, we finally made it to the Santa Maria mission, and it was a very interesting trip. I'm not sure it was worth it to see these beautiful ruins, but anyhow, we made it here. There's the BajaOverlanding rig, not a scratch. We do have a problem with Mr. EXO. He tore out a front U-joint on the driver's side front axle, so we're going to pull the axle out and pack the axle with rags to stop it leaking oil. So, see how we go.
I'll laugh if we get this done before they get here. That's not what they get correct. Okay, so that's going to be an issue, right? You start to turn it. Only passenger. Woo! Good, perfect. Going. Keep going. Okay, good. We're almost there. So we broke the U-joint in the axle, and now we're pulling out the axle and taping up the hole so we can drive it home and hopefully get back up the hill here. So it'll be interesting.
That's the part that is that?
So here's broke the corner off the U-joint. So we're going to leave this as is, put it back in with the axle out, and we should be able to drive home.
I'm ready for whatever idea you plan on going, or that probably work better.
Are you doing lunch here, sandwiches, or waiting?
Yeah, I'm going to get done, put it together. Might take 15 minutes to get back together, and we're good. That's good. Plenty. Oh, yeah, that wheel stop. So we're at the top of the divide. We've been down to the mission, made our way back, and heading out to the highway. About 4.5 hours for the whole trip. Well, at least back to the divide, so that was pretty good. There's Sierra Cortez down there. Gordon did it all in 2-wheel drive. Very impressive.